Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Today's puzzles by the excellent GDC. And it doesn't promise, but there's a chance that it will lead us to understand a couple of things that happen in Sudoku regularly. One is chaos construction, where we need to build the grid regions ourselves. And the other is cave puzzles. And we often get cave rules in puzzles, and it's worth a little play with them. Now, I'm talking about this because it's 2 stars, I think, still on Logic Masters Germany. Quite a lot of people have solved it. That makes it easier than most GDC constructions, but I'm certainly looking to give it a go. Now, if you want more of a challenge, there's our Patreon contest. On Patreon, we've got a No Trump game based on a hand of bridge and playing cards, and there's a couple of challenging puzzles in it, the aces especially. So do have a go at that if you're with us on Patreon, and join us on Patreon. If not for that, then maybe for the crossword videos, the gridogram or connections videos, which are always quite thought-provoking, I hope. They certainly provoke thoughts in me, and they're meant to be. And there's all sorts of good content there. Now, what else have we got? We've got all of our apps, which do feature Classic Sudoku 2 and the Worms, and they are great fun, real challenges, snaky challenges, of course, including by the likes of Michael Lefkowitz and Marty Sears. So they are brilliant. We've also got some merch, also Marty Sears, again involved in that, so do check it out. He designed all the Rat Run merch, as well as, of course, all the Rat Run puzzles, and big friend of the channel. Right, let's have a look at Floating Through Space by GDC. So the rules are these. We have to divide the 7x7 grid into orthogonally connected regions and place the digits 1 to 7 once each in every row, column, and region. I have no idea if this is one of the 7-cell regions, but it could be. All the cells connected together and a region. That might leave that to be another region and that to be a third one. We just don't know. As long as it's 7 cells connected, it could be a region given those rules. Now, the cave rules state that a digit in a diamond counts how many cells of its own region it sees in the row and column combined, including itself. Region borders block vision. So if this yellow area was a region, this cell would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in its region. It can only look horizontally and vertically. If the region happened to be this shape, it would only see 3 because its vision would be blocked. It wouldn't get to see that cell. So that's how a cave rule works. Now, there's also up to n sums outside the grid. A clue outside row or column n gives the sum of all digits up to the cell that contains the digit n. N is not included in the sum. This is column 6. So if that was a 6, these 3 cells will have to add up to 14. Now there's a further clue. Up to n regions. For each of these outside clues, the digits in the sum must belong to the same region, and n must belong to a different region. So in that situation in which we had, that 6 is in one region, and those 3 cells that sum to 14 are in a different region. Okay, those seem to be the rules. I think I understand them. I mean, those 2 last rules could have been smooshed together, I would have thought. But fair enough. It seems, I don't know if it's an approachable puzzle, which is a term we use for one that we can do relatively quickly, but it seems understandable. Give it a go if you find it comprehensible too. Let's get cracking. It's on that first link under the video. Right. What are we going to do here? We're going to say the digits 1 to 7 appear in this puzzle. So 14 and 15 have to be 3 cells each, at least, in terms of a count. 7 and 6, which would be the biggest 2 cells possible, only add to 13. So those three cells are all the same color, and I'm using a color for a region, and these three are all the same color, and that means we found 5 cells of this region already. This 18 is going to be, again, at least 3 cells, 765. So that's a different color. It can't be the same as this region. Now, do we hit that cell, which would be a 4? So this 15 clue is saying that the cells that add up to 15 are the kind of end of green. The next clue, which is a 1 actually, because this is row 1, is in a different region. So if that was a 4, these 3 would have to add up to 11 without using 1 or 4, which would be here. They would be 2, 3, 6. That's bloomin' possible. Okay, can't decide on that yet. 7 could be a single digit, couldn't it? Okay, this is row 7. So after the cells that add up to 18, we're going to get a 7. So it can't be 765. We must need a 4th cell. And can we possibly have a 5th down here? This might be where to start after all. Because if this was a 5th cell before we got to 7, yeah, there's a secret to this puzzle. Every row and column and region, I suppose, adds up to 28, which is the sum of 1 to 7. So if those 5 were at the count of the 18, and this was the 7 that we then see, 18 plus 7 is 25. This digit would be a 3, not in this pink color. That is perfectly possible. 3, 7, and then these would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. This number would be 5 or 6. Again, I can't rule that out. So I'm coming up with cases, but I can't make anything of them yet. This is column 6, and we've got a 14 sum. 752 would do it. This is column 3, and this is row 3. Ah, is this digit the 3 with 7 sums there and there? That's certainly possible, but each of these could be an individual 7, followed by a 3. Goodness, I don't think it is easy to determine what's going on there. Can I use the diamonds better? Oh, no, I was going to say this can't be pink, but that's not true. It certainly can be. I think we've proved it can be, and it would be 5 or 6. About this 10, that's at least 2 cells. It's not pink or green. Let's make it grey. And then there's the digit 6. If it was exactly 2 cells, there'd have to be a 3-7 pair. This would be a 6. Ah, okay. These pinks have to be followed by the number 7. There's a very good reason why that's not here. I've been looking at the diamond and going, that could easily be a 7 if the region was that shape, say. But no, the 7 in this region comes... Oh, no, hang on. This is column 3. It's not column 7. Oh, I thought it couldn't be there because it would have to be named, but it doesn't. It doesn't. No, I'm wrong. Oh, bother. Okay. Wow, I'm getting nothing done here. These could both be pink. They couldn't be green because these are the same color because of the 11. So that's really the last outside clue I've got. Let's make them light blue for now, but could they be pink? Only if they were connected to these by 1 cell, which would have to be here to allow other regions to connect up. Then we'd have a 5 here, no, and a 7 here. Then these cells would add up to 29 in a region that can only add up to 28, including that. So these are not pink. So light blue is a fourth color. We have found 4 colors. This can't connect with that because it would take 8 cells. It can't connect with that for various reasons. It would take 8 cells and cut some off. We have found 4 different colors for our regions, but we have not then made further progress within them. Now, this row adds up to 28. There is 15, and then there's a 1, and that totals 16. And then there's got to be 12 at least after that in the row. So the 1 is in one of these 2 cells. I mean, that's actually an approach. This green has got to end either here or here. So the 6 comes into one of these 2 cells. This 18 has to either end there or there. So the 7 comes into one of those 2. The 10, that's much less easy to determine. It could even be 4 cells and then a 6 here. 7 is followed by a 3, maybe after 3 cells or after 1 cell or after 2. So there's a 3 in one of those cells, there's a 3 in one of these by the same token, and that's not getting me very far either. Goodness me. Oh, maybe I add up these digits. So if that's a 1, oh, you can never put a 1 in a diamond. You donkey. You can never put a 1 in a cave cell diamond because it must see another cell to connect up in a region. So that's the 1, and it's absolutely simple in row 1. There we go, 7.5 minutes to see the world's most basic deduction. So now these 4 cells add up to 15. And these are 6 cells of the green region. If the 6 was down here, 14 and 15, right, yeah, if that was the whole region, this would actually tell us an awful lot. I suspect that's not going to be the case. But this is not an impossible region size. Now, if that was in the green region, these add up to 14, these add up to 15, and that's 29. But there's an overlap of 1 cell. To reduce it to 28, that overlap cell would have to be a 1. That's the only digit virtually we know it can't be. That's not true. We know it can't be a 6. But the only digit we have in the grid is a 1, which prevents that being an overlap 1. And therefore, this cell can't be green. And therefore, this is the 6 and the new region. Now, I've also thought of something else. There is only 1 green cell left. It could go here. But if it did, this cell has to get out down here. Now, this was going to be helpful if green extended there. At least 2 of these would be light blue, but I mean, these 2 must be in the same region because either this cell, well, this cell can't be green because that would block in a cell. So this cell is a different color and it must connect south. But it could well be light blue. That's the problem. Now, we know what this is because we know how many cells it sees. It's 4. Ooh. 1 is not in this group of cells. If 1 was in a group of 3 cells summing to 14, I can actually draw some boundaries in because of what we know about how far things can see. If 1 was in a group of 3 cells summing to 14, they would be 176, and this 6 says no to that. So 1's not in that group or in that group. It's the remaining digit. It's the missing digit is a 1. So 6 is now in one of those cells. These add up to 15. Without a 1, they are 6, 2, 3 now. And this is 2 or 3 in a group that adds to 14 here without a 1. So these must be 7, 5. That's 12. This digit is a 2. that works as an addition. So there we go. We've made some starting here. These digits are 5 and 7 by Sudoku in the row. 7 is a very plausible diamond number. It just means it sees. It's less plausible here, actually, than I expected. If that was a 7, it could only see 3 cells in the row. It would have to see at least 4 in the column. All of these would be in that region. I don't think it could be grey, because then the region would be that shape and would cut off these cells. So it would be a different colour, and it would look like that. Then these cells would all be grey to escape. They'd include a 7 here. And this digit would be wrong, because now I'm positing this sort of long-stemmed T shape. And that 1 is meant to be a total of 7 before you reach a new region. So interestingly, that digit can't be a 7. That is a 5. That's a 7. This sees at least 2 down the hole. They can't be grey. They can't reach blue or pink. They're not green. So they're a new colour. We'll call it yellow. This is not a single cell 7 in this row. In fact, no, it's not a single cell 7 because of Sudoku. So that's yellow. Now these have been shut in. They have to be yellow. We've got 6 of our yellow cells in the yellow region. These 2, could they take a third yellow? It would be very strongly militating. Do you know why that doesn't work? Interestingly, because this cell would have to get out. I'll just show you why. If that was yellow, this would be a different region. We'll call it red. Might not come to there, but it would have to get out this way. Then these cells would add up to 7, and that would be a 3. But that 3 would be in a sum of 3 adding to 7 there, which is not possible. If there's 3 adding to 7, they're 1, 2, 4. So that digit is not yellow. These 2 now add up to 7, and they don't include a 5. They're either 1, 6 or 3, 4. This cell joins with this one in a region to make the sum of 7. I'm making it a new region. 2 cells makes it too big to be green or yellow, and it can't reach these blue, grey, or pink. So we've found 6 of the regions beginning. Now, we can't have this be a 3-4 pair because they have to be followed by the digit 3. So they're a 1-6 pair, and that's a 3. And that's now also a 1-6 pair leading up to that 3. We can draw in the region borders here and here. And that 3, I don't know its colour. That can reach, certainly it can reach grey. It can't reach pink. It can just reach light blue. I mean, there might be things we can do about that, but not at the moment. These digits are from 2, 3, 4 in the yellow. 5 and 7 have not been resolved. We do need a 1 in green, and it's not going to be here or here. So the 1 in green is going to be in one of these cells. Okay, we've done that 14 clue, we've done that 15 clue, we've done that 7 and that 7. We've done the top 4 clues. We've got the bottom 3 clues to go. Oh, and some cave cell action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all yellow. Oh, and of course we can... Oh, goodness. Was I wrong to put that 4 in there? Let's go back to the beginning of the puzzle where I did that. Maybe there's a reason why that was okay, but why couldn't it be a 5? And if you've written a comment about that, you've made a good point, because that could be the shape. 5 there. No, those would have to add to 10 without using 1 or 5. Okay, I didn't, and that there is no combination, because 2, 3, 5 is the only way of doing 10 in 3 digits without a 1. So it wouldn't work, but I didn't rigorously rule it out at the time, and I apologize for that. If you've written a comment about that, your comment is valid, but I did eventually think of it. Right, so we've finished off the yellow region in terms of shape, and this remaining digit is 2, 3, or 4. And we've done all the top 4 clues, as I was saying. Now, these 11 are followed by a 5 somewhere. It could well be there, couldn't it? It can't be 4 digits because they would be 1, 2, 3, 5. So it's either 2 or 3 digits. If it was 2 digits, they would have to be a 4-7 pair since they can't be 5-6. This would be the 4. So either they go 7, 4, 5, and 7 and 4 are the end of the blue region in that row, and then this is a 5. Now down here, this could be, it would have to be 7, 3 followed by a 6 if it was 2 cells. I don't know. Oh, this digit can still be a 3, this can still be a 7. None of these have been ruled out by what we've done at the top of the grid. These digits actually are 1, 3, 4 by Sudoku in this column. These are 2, 4, 5, 7. I mean, it might be worth noting that. If this is pink, it's 5 or 7. But it could easily not be pink. Oh, if it's not pink, it's a 7 because of the rule in the row. So that is 5 or 7. The only way it's 5 is if it's pink. Then that's a 7, that's a 3. These are 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 7 would have to, oh, it couldn't be 7 and pink. So it's either 5 and pink or 7 and not pink. And then that would be a 7. Now, this pair cannot be followed by a 6 in this row. So that must be grey as well. Can they be 1, 2, 3, 4 and then a 6 there? No, it would break this cell. So this is the 6 in the row, and there is a border between those two. And these 3 add up to 10. That doesn't allow me even to rule 7 out of this cell. These are going to hit a 5 after they've scored 11, which is either 7, 4, 5, or 3 cells, and then a 5 in the diamond. Now, what about colours? We've had 6 colours marked. We've got 1 other colour region to find. Is it this? Okay, this can't be grey, because to join up with grey, it would be that shape and would cut stuff off. That's no good. It can't be pink. Light blue is there. Can it join up to light blue and still need... Oh, well, that's red, clearly. Don't know why I hadn't seen that. So the 1 in green is now in one of these two positions. Can that 3 join up here and leave enough space for red to form a 7? And then enough space for this region to get out or to form a 7? No, 3 can't be light blue because it won't leave enough space for red and the region that would therefore exist for these 2 cells. So that 3 is the newest color. Let's call it orange. That is the 7th color. And this, I was going to say this digit can't be a 3 because we've had a 3, but that was in orange. Total irrelevance. Oh, I think I'm going to have to pause now. Sorry, I'll be back with you in a second. Right, not much of a pause there. But what is the next question we have? Red. If that was a 1, red will have to snake its way out here. Then orange will get kind of caught in a little escape route. Oh, what color can this be if it's 7? I don't think that's possible. It can't be grey because there are cells that it won't see from that position if it's 7. And it can't be pink because it would have to see all these 7, and we know that's not the case for pink, which stops before the 7. So, and it can't be a new colour because it wouldn't fit in there. So that's not a 7 because it couldn't have a colour. That's a 5. And now it's not the 7 in row 7, so that is all pink. And they do add up to 18, and that's a 7. And by adding the row, we get a 3 there. And that 7 is in a different, oh, we get 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. And then we get a 3 there, which sees that cell. Now, I was going to say these have to be grey, and they do. They can't even be different colours because they're both going to crash into grey. So they're definitely grey. Grey can't have another 7 there. It's got 3 cells that add up to 10, 2 cells that add up to 10 there, that's 20, and 2 other cells above that add up to 8. Well, it can't take that cell because it would shut in at least that cell. It can't take that cell because it would shut in at least that cell. So it must take those 2. And that's the completion of grey. These add up to 10, these add up to 10. 6, 4 is the only remaining pair that can add up to 10 in this box, in this region. So that's 6, 4. We're away here. This could do the business. We've got 5, 3, this is 1 and 2. That can't be a 4 because we've had a 4 in this region. Oh. But now 2, 1, 5 has not added up to 10. I've done my maths wrong. That's what the problem was. Let's go back to where I did that wrong. I said this was a 4, 6 pair that added up to 10. Those added up to 10 and those added up to 10, but the region adds up to 28. So these two add up to 8. And it's not 7, 1 or 3, 5. It's 2, 6. We know the order. This is still just as helpful. It's just more correct than the other version I was doing a moment ago. That's a 3, that's a 2. In fact, this is more helpful. That's a 1, 4 pair. This now can't be a 2. So that's 4, 1, 5. And they do add up to 10. And we've done that clue as well. And we've done this clue, because this is going to be 5, 1, 2, 4, 6 in some order. This is the remaining clue to do. We've done that clue as well. This digit's a 4. Oh, we can do these. Look, I've finished 3 columns. Now, this digit, we were speculating about, oh, well, first of all, this is a 3, this is a 1, this is a 4. That 5, 7 pair is still not done, nor's that 3, 6 pair. Now, 1 is in the 11 sum, so it must go a further cell. There was some reason it couldn't be 4 cells because it's going to end seeing a 5. That 5 has to be there. These are 3, 7, 1. That adds up to the right total. I can put a border in there. These are 2 and 7 in some order. These are 1, 2, 6 down here. That one can't be a 6. Never afraid to over pencil mark. That is a naked single. It sees 4, 5, 6 in the column, 2, 3, 7 in the row. That's a 1. That's a 2 at the bottom. We're getting just pairs in columns 5 and 7. 3 and 7 I can fill in there. That gives me 7 and 5. Wow, we're going to have just pairs left in columns 5 and 7 as the numbers in this puzzle. But then we're going to have to work out, now we've done all the clues. Apart from this, we've done all the clues outside the grid. We still have to work out this 5 cave clue, which is not in a blue region. It's not going to be red because I don't think red can get here without coming through that 1, and red's already had a 1. It's not pink, which has had a 5, so it must be orange. Green's had a 5 as well, for what it's worth. So orange is going to connect there. If orange came this way through that 7, it would shut off this 7 when it connected up with the 5, and that couldn't get into a region because it can't be orange again. So orange doesn't come there, so this is a border. Orange comes through this 7. It now has shut off that 4 and 2, so they're in orange, which just needs a 1 and a 6. Now, this is only seeing 3 orange cells. It needs to see 2 more that are a 1 and a 6 and are clearly those. And that's finished orange. And hopefully the rest of the puzzle just divides up into colours, and that's going to sort out these 2 columns. Right, how's that going to work? This 163 is going to have to get out through this. Well, it's going to have to keep going for 7 cells. It's going to have to come through this cell to achieve that. And therefore this one must be red. Now that doesn't tell me about this one yet. It's going to have to come here though, even if it takes that cell to get to 7. And it can't come here because that's a 6 and it's had a 6. So it does go there, and that's not a 1. That's 5, that 4, that 2. And that completes red beautifully. And now we know this is a 1, and we know that green needed a 1, so we've completed green. These digits are trapped in by light blue, so they're light blue, which now consists of, oh look, we know what these digits are, 4 and 5. Now I could fill in 2 and 7, 7 and 3. I must be able to do 1 and 6 down here. Now, before we do the digits at the top, we'll find the 7th digit of light blue, which is a 2. There it is. We sequester those off. We call these pink. And this is a 6, and that is a 3 in the corner to finish off. And we have floated through space and found our cave regions. Lovely stuff. From Super Puzzle by GDC, exactly the sort of thing that we do like to kind of, in case you haven't seen the notions of chaos construction and cave cells before, or you want a puzzle that can be done with those in. This is it. So thank you for watching. Absolute pleasure to have you with us. Do come back next time. Bye for now.